Hello, everybody. Welcome to the second episode of our emotion series here in the Sit and Talk podcast. And on this episode, we'll be talking about love. We'll be answering two relevant and popular questions that surrounds inside and outside the church, which is number one, is love an emotion or a principle? And second, is religion a huge factor in considering relationships? So to help us on that, we have here with us Pastor. So first things first, Pastor John, what's your take on that? Is love an emotion or a principle?
That's good. The that phrase, that idea, or that question is very popular, especially with the rise of our the internet and the technologies. So it's fast spreading. So the question is love an emotion or a principle? Before giving my take on that, I think first it is best to define first what do we mean by love is a principle.
What do you mean by love is a principle?
Yes. So when we say love is a principle, we basically says that we follow what the Bible says primarily, especially in a Christian setting, what the book says, what the council says, and it is more on what is ideals more than what is practical.
Mm-hmm.
So when we say love is a principle, regardless, it is not the feeling which is considered. What is written, what is taught, what you believe is the major consideration.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we meant when we say love is a principle.
That's nice. But on the other hand, if we say that love is an emotion, we can also say that love is an emotion. Why? Because it's a natural response, right? Physical reaction, especially when we see someone we are attracted to or we are in love to, right? So if we say that love is an emotion, it means that love is not just about the mind. Our body also responds to it. Biochemically, there is a rise of oxytocin and dopamine, and it helps us. It is why we feel this emotion and we call this love, and that is what we feel whenever we are attracted and emotionally attached to other people. So we call that love, since love is also biochemically an emotion. So what's your take on that? What happens if love just operates on the principle level?
Yeah. If love is only a principle, I think because as what we said that love as a principle idea focuses on what is ideals more than the practicals. What is being said, what is being taught more than how you feel or what you feel. So it will first invalidate emotion. It will first invalidate the feeling of the someone in love or in a relationship.
So if love is principle alone, it totally discounts
Feelings.
whether or
Emotions.
not you feel something.
So regardless how you feel about it, since you decided to be in love without experiencing intimacy, without showcasing feelings,
Without that, when
emotional attachments,
that's what they call butterflies in your stomach.
no butterflies in your stomach.
Regardless, with or without that.
So whether you are giving time to your special person, someone, or so to the person you're in love with or not, no problem. They will stay because it's a principle.
It's their choice.
It's a choice.
It's a commitment.
Yeah. So what I think that if love is only a principle and not an emotion
in the long run,
marriages will fail. Because one of the most important thing, according to marriage experts and relationship uh, researchers, they said that one of the most important thing for a marriage or a relationship to work is called intimacy, or in other words, shared experience. So when we say intimacy or shared experience, it is not only you are there sitting because I am supposed to be on a date. There must be connection, and that connection is emotionally is an emotional connection. So relationships, if love is not, I mean, if love is only a principle and that's all, I think relationships will not work,
Yeah.
and people will become just like robots.
Yeah.
You just, okay, you go there and you do this and
is,
that.
Yeah, this is what my mind says,
Yeah.
is what I wanted. Palang ideal. So
Yes, yes.
I won't entertain my emotions. I will choose what is fit according to my principle.
Yeah.
So yeah. But however, if we will say that love also operates in the emotion level alone, we will be like slaves of our emotions.
Yes.
We just react because we feel about it, right? And we will be like animals, when animals are triggered, they then react to it because of that emotion. So if we do the same, if love is just operating in the emotional level, we will perhaps fall in love with a lot of people because
Yeah.
we can interpret this love as an emotion into many other people, no? And in the long run, if love is also operates on the emotion alone, it will also not work, because emotions fluctuate every now and then, ups and downs. There are times that you don't feel attracted to this person. There are times that
Sometimes you're attracted to many individuals.
yeah,
More
many,
than one
anyway,
guy.
yeah. So it's very dangerous,
It's
if,
very
if
dangerous.
if love is just
Only an emotion.
only an emotion.
Yeah. So
Yeah, as you have said, this is a unpopular notion
yeah.
that love is not just a principle, it's an emotion too. And love is not just an emotion,
It's
it's a principle too.
So these two, principle and emotion in love, are inseparable.
Yeah.
You cannot separate principle with emotion, and you cannot separate emotion with principle. In order for a relationship to work, in order to call it love, these two should be present in a relationship.
And you see, that is also how Jesus loves. He just not love in the principle alone, but also in emotion alone. So the question now is, if both of them, emotion and principle, are present, what comes first?
Yeah, that's tough. What comes first? For me, I think that emotion, love as an emotion, comes first before love becomes principle. Because
So you feel the attraction first
Yeah.
before the
Like-
principle.
you see, we are not there outside, for example, for our friends who are looking for uh, a potential marriage partner in the future. You will not go there outside and list all the principles that
You have
that you have, and then check everyone there if
checklist.
they are following or they are in line with those principles. We don't do that. What will happen is that when we are out there with our young people, with someone, with our youth, we are attracted to someone, and then before allowing that attraction to turn into love, we allow our principles to evaluate and see and examine if this person we are attracted to passes our beliefs or our principles. So that's what I meant when I say love is an emotion first before it becomes principle. How about you?
So, you mean you will not go out there having your principles and looking whether or not this person fits my principle. So it will always start with, am I attracted to this person?
Yeah,
And then evaluate.
that's true.
Okay. So it's not evaluate.
Then
Although there are some cases that also works on that, right? And they operate on, okay, I will choose you, even though I do not love you yet, but maybe because they have shared intimacy along the way, they develop the emotion level. But I would agree that love operates first on emotion level before it becomes
in most cases we can see that because you see when you are really attracted, you become very understanding, and sometimes we bend our ideals.
yeah.
There are ideals that we hold for so long, but because we are really attracted, practically speaking, because we are really attracted to that someone, we somehow bend those ideals a little bit so that this person we are attracted to will pass to our principles.
So is that how does that work?
And I think that works with differentiating our negotiable and non-negotiable ideals
Yeah.
or principles. So there are principles that we hold or we are holding that are actually negotiable. For example, you like someone in your principle, you like someone who can preach, right? And you only have this person you are attracted to. He cannot preach or she cannot preach, but this person can sing. So we can bend a little of those principles that we are holding on, and then just allow that person who can sing to fit with our ideals. But an example for non-negotiable principles is religion.
Okay.
What do you think? This is where we
Yeah. So when you talked about non-negotiable standards, non-negotiable standards can be bended. So, but non-negotiable standards are what we call principles, right? Is religion should be one of
the non-negotiable
the non-negotiable
standards.
What do you think? Religion. Okay. In the scriptures, it's clearly written that we are counseled that do not be equally yoked
with unbelievers.
So
is our religion or is religion in negotiable or non-negotiable? When it's, I think if I'm not mistaken, it's in the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 14 when Paul says, do not be equally yoked with unbelievers. It is best first to define what do we mean with unbelievers or believers.
yeah.
Because when we look at the Bible, believers doesn't necessarily mean Adventist. Because there are people who are not yet in the Adventism but are believers.
Yeah.
And there are Adventists in the church for so long, maybe born and raised as Adventists, but we're not believers.
That's irony.
Yeah. So when we say do not be equally yoked with unbelievers, it means those who are actually having an intimate personal relationship with the Lord when we talk about believers. Now, for me, my stand is whether religion is a negotiable and non-negotiable. I think in its surface, it is non-negotiable for me. It's non-negotiable in the sense that as much as possible, you will not find someone who do not share spiritual intimacy and spiritual convictions with you.
That is why.
That's what I meant.
That is why I told you before that one of my non-negotiable standards,
Yeah.
it should be an Adventist.
Mhm.
So I am convicted with that principle that I it was specific. It was not just a believer, but actually an Adventist. Because my reason was, I would not what you call this, adjust too much
Mhm.
with the differences, because I am looking at, syempre, there are a lot of differences other than your beliefs, other than your religion, and I have to adjust with all of the other things. And then if religion will add, I don't think that I can handle this. So that is why I considered Adventist to become my non-negotiable standard.
But yeah, I'm saying that not only Adventist. I mean,
Okay.
not only Adventist.
Our believers.
It doesn't mean that because it's Adventist, then go for it.
Yeah.
It should be a believing Adventist.
Okay.
Now, by the way, as what we have shared to you a while ago, that love is both a principle and an emotion. There are instances, there are cases where we heard testimonies. They were in a relationship with a non-Adventist, and then because this person is a Bible-believing Christian, he believes in Jesus Christ. Later on, this person turned and becomes Adventist. While there are also testimonies or experiences where they were both Adventists, but in the long run, because both of them are not actually reading their Bibles, they're not actually praying. What happened next?
They do
was
not have a relationship.
Did not have a relationship with Jesus. What happened next is that both of them went out from the church, and the marriage fails. So, what I'm trying to say is that for those who are not yet in a relationship, we have to consider someone not only because he or she is an Adventist.
Okay.
We have to consider them because they are a believer and they are, in truth, they are Adventist. In short, it should be Adventist believer,
Okay.
not only Adventist.
Can we put in our non-negotiable standards believer?
Yeah, it should be believer. It should be believer. As long as the person, I mean, this is what I'm trying to say a while ago, that for those who are not yet in a relationship, you have to consider someone who is an Adventist and a believer.
Yeah.
But for those in a relationship already, this is the practical side. This is the emotional side, because they're already attracted. They're already invested emotionally to that person. If you can see that that person is believing in Jesus, he's reading his Bible, he is praying, and he does not yet come to a point where he understands Adventist doctrines, I think you don't have to end that relationship.
As long
As you can see,
he or she is a believer,
is a believer.
there is hope.
There is hope. He is genuinely in love with Jesus Christ. He's reading his Bible, because you can see that in your observation. But if you can see that he's not an Adventist, and then he's not a believer of Jesus Christ, he doesn't read his Bible, I think you have to reconsider and think again.
So basically, summarizing it all up, for those who are still looking for partners, aim for Adventist believers.
Amen. Yeah.
Because number one, as I've said earlier, you won't really adjust too much.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the advantage actually, and that
Adventist.
is why there are many our leaders, our elders are really counseling young people to really look for an Adventist, but Adventist believers. Okay, now, but as you have mentioned, for those who are already inside the relationship with someone else that are not Adventists, it's a good thing if they are believers, but if not, we should reconsider.
Is
And
it?
maybe, foster, um, do something about it
Mm-hmm.
before really having that serious commitment.
Yeah. Same principle with those young people who are already emotionally invested or attracted to someone who is not an Adventist. If you can see that, in your observation, if you can see that even though he's not an Adventist, but he's a Bible believer, he's in love with Jesus Christ, he's
And
praying,
he's open.
and he's open.
And that's
I think he is a believer, but not yet an Adventist. But if you can see that he's really prejudiced to Adventism, he's prejudiced to his Bible,
and he's very close.
he's very close. Think again.
Think again and maybe reconsider.
You can see that.
And so all in all, we have talked. Thank you so much, Pastor John. We have talked and we have answered our two questions. So number one, is love an emotion or a principle? The answer is
Both.
love is both. It operates at an emotional level
It
and
also
it
operates
also
in-
operates in the principle level. And the second question on is religion a major factor or a major consideration, especially in relationships? So look for
not only in the name, in the banner of Seventh-day Adventist
Yeah.
religion,
but believers
believers. That's what the Bible says.
and a person who is in a deep and intimate relationship with Jesus. Okay. So thank you everyone for joining our second episode, and we'll be talking with you soon on our third episode. Thank you. Bye.